Keone was the best bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But now that we've seen him against some of the best, Heidi wasn't there and Derek wasn't there. So where would that have put him?
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with an update from Egyptian tank Hassan Mostafa, another 3 times pro show winner who has been struggling a lot to win a show in the past couple of years. So you can say that Hassan, he did not have a tight midsection at this past France Pro, but he showed up very much improved at Mexico Pro this year. So for a guy who was winning shows just a couple of years back, him not even making top 3 here in Mexico, what does that tell us? The caliber of competition that is far too high. And we are literally seeing at least one very good physique in every single show. Like in Mexico, we had Tonio Burton, a top 10 Olympian who had an unbelievable physique for that kind of lineup. So if we look at some of the videos put out by Hassan Mostafa leading into the show, his coach right now did a very good job getting him in a very good condition. But he could have been a bit more tighter from the back. So what's next for Hassan? Well, the man is maintaining a very good post-show condition, and considering that Andrew jacked, he's doing this upcoming Romania Pro, Japan Pro or Spain Pro, the big man weekend. That will be Hassan's best bet. So I really think he looked a lot better when he started his pro career. All that size that he put on, that did make him one of the most muscular man in the open class at the moment. But his midsection, he kind of run that big time. And despite the fact that he's one of the most muscular bodybuilder, he looks very blocky and he immediately gets marked down in those front shots because of his wide waistline. So let me know what you guys think. Can Hassan Mostafa win a pro show and qualify for the Olympia again? Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. Urs Kalecinski, the Miracle Bear, checking in 3 weeks post his Olympia debut in the Men's Open. So this is the build-up for a reason one more time, as this is the off-season, where he's gonna train and eat like an open bodybuilder, where he will solely focus on just putting on more muscle, more mass, for the first time since 2021. So it will be very interesting to see how huge Urs gets, because he was 265 pounds during the peak of his off-season this year. And that was when he wasn't even trying to do that. He wasn't trying to get big. In fact, he was actually trying pretty damn hard not to put on more size, more muscle, because that would have made it impossible for him to make the weight cutoff, which is something that he was trying to do for half the year. But at the end of the day, that is exactly what happened. And what we saw in Italy and Germany, that was a guy trying to grow into the show. Now, that worked wonderfully in his favor. He got 2 pro wins on his first try in the Men's Open, which was probably amongst the biggest shocker of this entire year, because nobody expected him to be that competitive against some of these veteran open pros. So many of the fans, including his coach, they set up pretty high expectations for his Open Olympia debut. And it is kind of funny that some pros out there, they had him beating a former Olympia champion like Brendan Carey, which simply wasn't the case at all. But that being said, Urs still beating guys like Regan, Rubiel, Brett Wilkin, that goes to show us that he's already miles ahead of those guys who have been competing as men's open pros for so many years now. So the biggest question in regards to Urs is that, can he make some big improvements in his posterior chain? Can he bring up his upper back? Well, apparently he can, because we all saw how nobody mentioned Urs's arms even once as a weakness anymore. So with Urs being one of the most dedicated guys in the entire bodybuilding world right now, he will surely be a lot better the next time he steps on stage.
But he was already at the cusp in Las Vegas. But he should do what James Flex Lewis did. Stay there, win as many 212 titles as you can. Let these big guys graduate and maybe down the road go. I personally don't think it's time for Keone to go in the open.
So more and more people out there are changing their opinion in regards to Keone. So Sean Ray was actually one of those guys who said Keone is the best body on the entire planet right now. But he also now admitted, after Prague, that you are only as good as the guys you are standing next to. And we are slowly watching people moving away from this idea that Keone should switch over to the open bodybuilding right away. At this point, almost everyone is saying that he should continue his journey as a 212 Olympia champion and win as many titles as he possibly can, just like Flex Lewis did, and make history and make a big legacy. And the main reason, which also seems very valid here, that is Keone's midsection, as that is something that will make him kind of vulnerable, especially if that middle part that keeps on expanding as he puts on more muscle, more mass. So can we all agree that Keone at his current size, he will struggle to make top 5 in the men's open lineup. So to be competitive against some of these top guys, especially in that top 5, all these bigger guys, he definitely has to add more muscle, more size, and we do not know whether that is a good idea for him at this point. And there is no shame in admitting that I was also wrong big time in regards to Keone. And this is what Sean Ray also said about the reigning 212 Olympia champion. The fact is he will continue to dominate the 212 for as many years as he wants to. But this also proves that no matter how many comparisons we make, based on the pictures and videos taken in different shows, on different stages, under different setups, what transpires on the stage, that is totally different, and things get very transparent when these guys stand next to each other. Now, Keone can undoubtedly break the record of 7 212 Olympia wins by Flex Lewis. Let me know what you guys think.
And be the king of the 212 for as long as you can.
Well, no argument with that.
I've changed my opinion. You see that? I've changed my opinion because I was saying Keone was the best bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But now that we've seen him against some of the best, Heidi wasn't there and Derek wasn't there. So where would that have put him?
So Petar Woyciechowski is the one guy whom I am really looking forward to see at this upcoming Romania Pro in about 1 week time. So the biggest name competing at that show, that is of course Josema Beast, the guy number 4 in the world in classic physique. And I am very certain that we're gonna see some big names competing in Romania, as this is one of the biggest shows in the post-Olympia tour. Also one of those shows where getting the win will get you the Olympia qualification rather than the 10 points. And at this point, the other big name who is gonna be there, that is Pitor. I have got to say one of the most classic looking man in this entire division at the moment. And the fact that this guy just made his pro debut 6 to 7 weeks before the Olympia this year, and he was 13th, beating almost 45 guys in that classic Olympia lineup this year, that is a big deal. So this guy has classic written all over him. Super tiny waistline, amazing quad sweep. The arms on him are amazing. The one thing that he can definitely improve, that is the back. Now I'm sure he's not gonna win this show, but this is the one guy to really watch out for in 2026, as he will be 100% moving up in those Olympia ranks. So remember this guy, Leandro Paris, who battled it out with the likes of Good Vito earlier this year at the Arnold Brazil. Well, here the man is now at 310 pounds, putting on a lot of muscle to make himself ready for 2026. Now Leandro did not win any show throughout this year, but he was one very impressive looking talent emerging from Brazil whom we saw competing in multiple shows. And even with the size that he added this time, he maintained his aesthetics pretty damn well. And his look at Cali Pro this year, where he placed 3rd behind Regan and Sazan, that was a very impressive look. So he's a guy with a very big frame, and the fact is he can afford to put on muscle, but he has to make sure that the midsection that remains super tight. So looking at some of the pictures of his off-season, you can make a solid argument for this guy potentially winning a show next year and getting his Olympia spot. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.